शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. लोकवीर्यं महापूज्यं सर्वरक्षाकरं विभुं पार्वतीहृदयानन्दं शास्तारं प्रणमाम्यहं। स्वामिये शरणमय्यप्पा। वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्तप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि अर्तान् कामानजस्रं विदरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरधाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടും ഇറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കുന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so do a review of 24. Jyoti Chandran, can you do one half, and then Nalini, can you do one half?
Rajesh, can someone else do today?
Okay. Shailaja, ninga pannunga one half. Okay. Shailaja and Jyoti Chandran, half. Any of you can start. Jyoti ji, start. Yeah.
Okay. Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Dasakam 24. Prahlada Charita Varnana. हिरण्याच्छे पौत्रिप्रवरवपुषा देव भवता हते शोकक्रोधग्लपितधृतिरेतस्य सहजः हिरण्यप्रारम्भः कशिपुः अमरारादिसदसि प्रतिज्ञामादेने तव किल वधार्थं मधुरिपो विधातारं घोरं स खलु तपसि त्वा न चिरतः पुरः साक्षात्कुर्वन् सुरनरमृगादैर्यनिधनं वरं लब्ध्वा दृप्तो जगदिह भवन्नायकमिदं परिच्छुन्दन्निन्द्रादहरद दिवं त्वामगणयन् निहन्तुं त्वां भूयः तव पदमवाप्तस्य चरिपोः बहिर्दृष्टेरन्तर्दधित हृदये सूक्ष्मवपुषा न दन्युच्चैः तत्राप्यखिलभुवनान्ते च मृगयन् भियायादं मत्वा स खलु जिदकाशी निववृते तदोऽस्य प्रह्लादः समजनिसुतो गर्भवसतौ मुनेर्वीणापाणेः अधिगतभवद्भक्तिमहिमा स वै जात्या दैत्यः शिशुरपि समेत्य त्वयि रतिं गतस्त्वभक्तानां वरद परमोदाहरणतां सुरारीणां हास्यं तव चरणदास्यं निजसुते सदृष्ट्वा दुष्टात्मा गुरुभिरशिशिच्छच्चिरममुं गुरुप्रोक्तं चासौ इदमिदमभद्राय दृढमित्यपाकुर्वन् सर्वं तव चरणभक्त्यैव ववृधे.
You can start.
अदीतेषु श्रेष्ठं किमिति परिप्रेष्टे पृष्टे ततनये भवद्भक्तिं वर्यामभिगतति पर्याकुलधृतिः गुरुभ्यो रोषित्वा सहजमतिरस्येत्यभिविदन् वदोपायानस्मिन् व्यतनुत भवत्पादशरणे सशूलैराविदः सवहुमहितो दिग्गजगणैः महासर्पैर्दष्टोऽपि अनशनगराहारविदुतः गिरीन्द्रावक्षिप्तोऽपि अहः परमात्मन्नै विभो त्वयि न्यास्तात्मत्वात् किमपि न निपीडाम् अभजताम्.
Shailaja, on the first line, and the with the ha, double the there. Shulaira with the ha, and then subahu on the word. Okay.
Okay, thank you. ततः शङ्काविष्टः स पुनरति दुष्टोऽस्य जनको गुरुक्त्या तद्गेहे किल वरुणपाशैस्तमरणत् गुरोश्चासान्निध्ये स पुनरनुगान् दैत्यतनयान् भवद्भक्तेस्तत्त्वं परममपि विज्ञानमशिषत् पिता शृण्वन् बालप्रकरमखिलं त्वत्स्तुतिपरं रुषान्दः प्राहैनं कुलहतककष्टे बलमिति बलं मे वैकुण्ठः तव च जगतां चापि सबलं स एव त्रैलोक्यं सकलमिति धीरोऽयमगदीत्.
There's a second line, and there's a kaste. It's a first ta. I heard a ta sound. It's a th. Kaste.
Thank you. Kashte balamiti.
Kaste ta.
Okay. Kaste balamiti.
Yeah.
अरे क्वासौ सकल जगदात्मा हरिरिति प्रबिन्दे स्म स्तम्भं चलितकरवालोदिति सुतः अतः पश्चाद् विष्णो न हि वदितुमीशोऽस्मि सहसा कृपात्मन् विश्वात्मन् पवनपुरवासिन् मृडय माम्.
Krishnaaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay. All right. We'll continue with. Sorry, somebody had a question.
And the Jyoti, that is 3, slogan 3 la Vihir இது நதன் உச்சைஸ் தத்ராப்யகில அங்க சேர்த்து வைக்கணுமா?
I heard a little bit of R sound coming there when she was saying it, but if you have tatrapi akila,
Actually, nadan uchaihi tatrabhya kilana. But what I have noted is nadan uchais tatrabhyah akhila அப்படின் அங்க
இல்ல இல்ல அந்த நதன் உச்சைஹி அந்த is that is there that goes away, it becomes a visarga there, nadan uchaihi. Then tatrapi akila, because it's tatrapi akila becomes tatrapi akila.
அப்ப
நதன்னுச்சைஹி தத்ராப்யகில புவனாந்தே ச மிருகயன், right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And the ya sound has to come there. The tatrapi
தத்ராப்யகில
yeah, correct. Okay.
One more question, Rajesh. அந்த fifth ஸ்லோகத்துல வந்து மூணாவது லைனும் நாலாவது லைனையும் சேர்த்து சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அபத்ராய திருடமித்யபா குருவன் சர்வம். அந்த இடத்துல பிரிக்கலாமா? திருடமிதி அபாக்குர்னு
if you're pausing at that line, it's like if you want to pause at that word, it is dridamiti apakurvan. But because we are saying it together, you cannot separate those two words. It becomes the same logic like what we did.
Okay.
Anytime you're saying it together, then you cannot break that word. But if you're stopping it and saying it as individual words, then it is the dridamiti apakurvan.
Okay. ஏன்னா அந்த இதுக்கு ராகத்துக்கு அப்போ பெட்டரா வர மாதிரி இருந்தது.
I know, but because we're joining that word, that's why we are like not breaking that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So 25, I think we have to start from, we think we did 6, so we have to start from 7. Okay. Amrita ji, you can be student, and Krishnan ji, you can be student. Okay. So stanza 7. त्यक्त्वा तं हतमाशु रक्तलहरी सिक्तोन्नमद्वर्ष्महि प्रत्युत्पत्य समस्तदैत्यपटलीं चाकाध्यमाने त्वहि भ्राम्यद्भूमिविकम्पिताम्भुदिकुलं व्यालोलशैलोत्करं प्रोत्सर्पत्खचरं चराचरमहो दुस्तामवस्थां ददौ. So we saw in last class about the final conversation between Prahlada and Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu says, "Are Kwasa, because you keep talking about this Hari. Where is that Hari who has the power of everything, right?" And then he takes a sword and then he goes and hits against. I don't know why my video is flickering, but he goes and hits against it. He hits against the pillar. Oops. Do you guys see the flickering as well?
Yes, yeah.
So he goes and hits against the pillar. So at that time, he hears a sound, or everybody that hears a sound which they have not heard before, right? A loud resonating sound comes, and then a very powerful form comes out, which we saw the description, beautiful description of the Narahari, which actually comes, and the size of it. And then there is a small fight that happens, and then in stanza 6, then Narasimha then takes Hiranyakashipu and this thing on the on the area between inside and outside, puts him on his lap and tears him with his nails. So that's where we saw stanza 6. So now in stanza 7, so now it's a lion at the end of the day, right? So when he's actually, when he's ripping apart Hiranyakashipu, what is happening is there's a lot of blood coming, and then he's really tearing Hiranyakashipu with his nails. So there's a very detailed description that goes into how a lion would behave when it kills something like a elephant, right? It tears it apart. There's blood all over. There's blood all over Narasimha's mane. There's blood on his nails. It's everywhere, right? And then this entire thing, first of all, he was very gorum to look at even from the beginning. He was emitting a really loud sound, and we saw how massive in size he was. Plus, on top of that, after it has killed a prey, a lion also roars, right? It emits more sound. So that's what Narasimha is doing. He's emitting more sound to the extent that everybody there is like really scared now. It is a very very dangerous scene out there. And the rest of the Asuras who are there, who come to fight, they are like all super easy. Narasimha just gets rid of them. The rest of them don't even want to come near. Everybody's running away, because that kind of, so the what here, but everybody is also talking here is Dustam Avastam. It's like, in movies, they show that the water levels are rising, the wind is blowing, the trees are shaking. So you're kind of saying the entire earth is like kind of feels like it's going to get ripped apart, because that's the level of chaos that is actually happening there, and everybody's really scared right now. And there's a context to, how that scariness is brought down to calm, but this is the chaos that is undergoing there right now. Tyaktva tam hatamashu, rakta lahari siktonna madvashmani, that's one word, siktonna madvashmani, pratyutpatya samasta daitya patalim. Daitya is referring to the asuras. Samasta daitya patalim, chakadyamane tvayi. Tyaktva tam hatamashu raktalahari siktonna madvashmani pratyutpatya samasta daitya patalim chakadyamane tvayi.
त्यक्त्वा तं हदमाशु रक्तलहरी सिक्तोन्नमद्वर्ष्मणि प्रत्युत्पत्य समस्तदैत्यपटलीं सागात्यमानो त्वयि
Chakadyamane tvayi.
चाकात्यमाने त्वयि त्यक्त्वा तं हदमाशु रक्तलहरी सिक्तोन्नमद्वर्ष्मणि प्रत्युत्पत्य समस्तदैत्यपटलीं चाकात्यमाने त्वयि
त्यक्त्वा तं हदमाशुरक्तलहरि सिक्तोन्मद्वर्ष्मणि प्रत्युत्पत्य समस्तदैत्यपटलिं चाखाध्यमाने त्वयि.
Krishnanji, the first line after hatamashu, we are pausing.
तत्त्वाक्तं हदमाशु रक्तलहरी सिक्तोन्मदद्वर्ष्मणि प्रत्युत्पत्य समस्तदैत्यपटलीं चाख्याध्यमाने त्वयि.
The first line, the siktonna, double na coming there. Siktonna madvarshmani.
सिक्धोऽग्न मध्वर्ष्मणि.
Yeah. Bhramyat bhumi vikampitam bhudikulam, vyalola shailotkaram, protsarpat khacharam characharamaho, dustam avastam. You can break it that ma. Dustam avastam dadau. Bhramyat bhumi vikampitam bhudikulam vyalola shailotkaram protsarpat khacharam characharamaho dustam avastam dadau.
भ्राम्यत् भूमि विकम्पिताम्बुधिकुलं व्यालोलशैलोत्करं प्रोत्सर्पत्कचरं चराचरमहो दुस्ताम् अवस्थां तदौ. भ्राम्यत् भूमि विकम्पिताम्बुधिकुलं व्यालोलशैलोत्करं प्रोत्सर्पत्कचरं चराचरमहो दुस्ताम् अवस्थां तदौ.
Rajesh ji, sorry. The fourth line, what is the first word? Protsat? Protsarpat. Okay.
Yeah.
Kacharam.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
भ्राम्यत् भूमि विगम्बितां बुद्धिकुलं व्यालोलशैलोत्करं प्रोत्सपदत्खचरं चराचरमहो दुस्तामवस्थां दधौ. भ्राम्यत् भूमि विगम्बितां बुद्धिकुलं व्यालोलशैलोत्करं प्रोत्सपदत्खचरं चराचरमहो दुस्तामवस्थां दधौ.
Krishnan, the fourth line after characharamaho, the pause. Okay, the fourth line.
Okay.
Stanza 8. Tavan mamsavapakarhala vapusham ghorantramala tvam madhye sabamiddakopamushitam durvara gurvaravam abhyetum na shashaka kopi bhuvane dhure stita bhiravah sarve sharva birincha vasava mukhaha pratyekamastoshata. So after kind of beating all these rest of the asuras away, others who run away, So Narasimha now goes and sits on the throne of Hiranyakashipu. So you have to kind of imagine that scene, right? That massive sized Narasimha with a lion face, like a body of a man, like he talked about how broad the shoulders are. And then he's sitting and he's roaring and he has blood all over. And then it says he has intestines of Hiranyakashipu like garlanded. Really that level of a Goram scene. And he's sitting and he's roaring more, right? He's like ready. He's ready for another fight right now. So at that time, all these devas, Gandharvas, Yakshas, Siddhas, everybody is coming because they all want to see this great avataram. They all come and prostrate because that's the first thing you can do, right? Because what else can you do when there's such a Ghoram form that is there? So they all come and do their namaskaram. Nobody has the strength or a courage to even go near Narasimha. So it says, Sarve, everybody, Sharva, Shiva, Virincha, Brahma. So everybody is come, but nobody wants to even go near Narasimha at that point. So at that time, they're telling, Lakshmi Devi saying, Lakshmi Devi, you know what, you please go, right? You please go talk to Narasimha and see if you can actually calm him down. But Lakshmi Devi says, even I have not seen such a Ghoram form. And the amount of roar that is coming and the sound that is coming, nobody wants to even approach Narasimha at that point. And everybody standing in their spot doing their individual praises, but nobody wants to even go near Narasimha at this point. So Tavan Mamsa Vapa Karala Vapusham, Ghorantra Maladharam, Tuam Madhye Sabham Idda, if you want to break it, Sabham Idda Kopa Mushitam, Durvara Gurvaravam. Tavan Mamsa Vapakarhala Vapusham Ghorantra Maladharam Twam Madhye Sabhamidda Kopa Mushitam Durvara Gurvaravam.
Rajesh, sorry. Sabhamidda Roshamushitam irke.
I just change it to Kopa. It means the same thing, but consistency will keep it as Kopa.
So the Kopa, adukapra enna word varunga?
It's Kopam Ushitam. So Kopam Ushitam.
Tavan Mamsa Vapakarala Vabusham Ghorantara Maladaram Tvam Madhye Sabam Itta Kopam Ushitam Durvara Gurvaravam. Tavan Mamsa Vapakarala Vabusham Ghorantara Maladaram Tvamadhye Sabam Itta Kopam Ushitam Durvara Gurvaravam.
Tavan Mamsavapakarala Vapusham Ghorantramaladharam Tvam Madhye Sabhamidda Kopamushidam Durvara Gurvaravam. Tavan Mamsavapakarala Vapusham Ghorantramaladharam Tvam Madhye Sabhamidda Kopamushidam Durvara Gurvaravam.
Abhyetum na shashaka kopi bhuvane, dure stita bhiravaha. Everybody standing far. Dure stita bhiravaha, sarve sharva. First is a sa, second is a sha. Because the first sa means everybody. Next is sha means Shiva. Sarve sharva virincha vasava mukhaha, pratyekam astoshata. Abhyetum na shashaka kopi bhuvane दूरे स्थिता भीरवः सर्वे शर्वभिरिञ्च वासवमुखाः प्रत्येकमस्तोषत.
अप्येदुं न शशाक कोऽपि भुवने दूरे स्थिता भीरवः सर्वे शर्वविरिञ्च वासवमुखाः प्रत्येकमस्तोषत. अप्येदुं न शशाक कोऽपि भुवने दूरे स्थिता भीरवः सर्वे शर्वविरिञ्च वासवमुखाः प्रत्येयम् अस्तोषत प्रत्येकम् अस्तोषत
अभ्येतुं न शशको विभुवने दूरे स्थिता भीरवः सर्वे शर्वविरिञ्जवासवमुखा प्रत्येकमस्तोषत.
Only the third line, shashaka, that word.
Shashaka.
Yeah, correct.
अभ्येतुं न शशक विभुवने दूरे स्थिता भीरवः सर्वे शर्वविरिञ्जवासवमुखाः प्रत्येकमस्तोषत.
Rajesh ji, ஒரு quick question அது na shashakava shashakava
Na shashaka.
na shashaka.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was one of the first time. So na shashaka. Stanza 9. भूयोऽप्यक्षतरोषधाम्नि भवति ब्रह्माज्ञया बालके प्रह्लादे पदयोर्नमत्यभये कारुण्यभाराकुलः शान्तस्त्वं करमस्य मूर्ध्नि समधाः स्तोत्रैरतोद्घायतः तस्या कामदियोऽपि ते नितवरं लोकाय चानुग्रहम्. So, even like in Rudram, right? Because when you start the Rudram itself, Rudra Namakam, because Shiva is in a very Ghoram form at that time. So it first starts with Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. It says, first time starting off with, I'm prostrating to you, I'm doing Namaskarams to you. So don't think I'm, trying to do anything to you. I'm completely surrendering to you. And then you even start singing the praises, right? That's how even Rudram starts. So that's what everybody's doing at first. They're standing in their respective places and saying, we are not associated with Hiranyakashipu. We are all completely surrendering to you. That's what they start. But that doesn't still calm down Narasimha, right? He's still at that point in a very angry mode right now. So Brahma decides the only person who can calm Narasimha is his truest of devotee. So he goes to Prahlada and says, Prahlada, I think you are the one who can go and calm Narasimha, right? So you approach. And everybody is afraid, but Prahlada is not afraid. Right? Because he knows if it is his God, why will he be afraid of it? Right? You cannot be afraid of your God, right? Because he's there to bless you. So then Prahlada then approaches. Brahma says, you please go. So Prahlada being so confident that nothing, and he's the smallest boy, right? He's 5 or 6 years old at that point. So he folds his hands and he goes near. The moment Prahlada goes near, Narasimha immediately calms down. Right? Because he was waiting for his devotee to come. That's the whole purpose Narasimha has come there, right? Is to help Prahlada. So he then puts Prahlada on his lap and then puts his hand on his head. So it's where Shantastvam karam means hand. Murdni samadaha means putting his hand on top of Prahlada's head. Because Prahlada doesn't even know how to praise Narasimha. He's a small boy, right? What else can he say? Whatever he knows, he says, right? So the moment Narasimha, very similar to what happened with Dhruva, the moment Narasimha placed his hand on Prahlada's head, then Prahlada's stuti starts. So he does a long stuti to Narasimha, right? Praising him. And at that time, Narasimha has also kind of calmed down. And at the end, Narasimha asked Prahlada, what boon do you want? And like we saw before, even with Dhruva's case, same with Prahlada's case, if you're a true devotee, and then Bhagavan comes and stands in front of you, you never feel like asking something material. So Prahlada says, what else do I want? I want nothing. So he says, no, I still will bless you. And then Prahlada says, I'll only want the lokaya cha anugraham. He says, bless the whole world so that they all behave, everything goes well for everybody and there's no problems, right? So Narasimha then blesses Prahlada and then he calms down at that point. So bhuyo pyakshata rosha dhamni bhavati, short e, comma, Brahmajnaya balake prahlade. So you put a plus at the end of that line. And then after the word prahlade, in the next line, you put a comma. Padayor namatya bhabaye, comma again. See, prostrates at the feet. Karunya bharakulaha. So one comma after bhavati in the first line. Then together, another comma after prahlade and bhabaye. भूयोऽप्यक्षतरोषधाम्नि भवति ब्रह्माज्ञया बालके प्रह्लादे पदयोर्नमत्यभये कारुण्यभाराकुलः
भूयोऽप्यक्षदरोषताम्नि भवति ब्रह्माज्ञाय बालाके प्रगलादे पदयोर्नमत्यपये कारुण्यपाराकुलः
அந்த இடத்துல the பிரம்மாக்ஞயா அந்த இஹ் வந்து இஸ் லைக் ஹாஃப் ஹா இந்த பிரம்மாக்கு பிரம் ஆக்ஞயே ஆக்ஞா ஆக்ஞயே பாலகே
பிரம்மாக்ஞயா இல்லையா அது ஏ
பிரம்மாக்ஞயா யாதான் பிரம்மா அது ஆக்ஞா ஞா சவுண்ட்
ஆக்னியா
ஆக்ஞயா பாலகே then prahlade and the prahlade it's not prahlade it's prahl not ha
okay भूयोऽप्यक्षदरोषताम्नि भवति ब्रह्माग्नय बालके प्रह्लादे पदयोर्नमत्यपये कारुण्यपाराकुलः
भूयोऽप्यक्षतरोषधाम्नि भवति ब्रह्माज्ञया बालके प्रह्लादे पदयोर्नमत्यपभये कारुण्यभाराकुलः भूयोऽप्यक्षतरोषधाम्नि भवति ब्रह्माज्ञया बालके प्रह्लादे पदयोर्नमत्यपभये कारुण्यभाराकुलः
शान्तस्त्वं करमस्य मूर्ध्नि समधाः स्तोत्रैरतोद्गायतः. First put a visarga at the end of that line, stotgayatah, comma. That word, if you want to break it, it will be stotrair atodgayatah, if you want to break that word. The next line, the is will go away. Tasya kamadhi yopi tenita varam, comma, lokaya chanugraham. शान्तस्त्वं करमस्य मूर्ध्नि समधाः स्तोत्रैरतोद्गायतः तस्या कामधियोऽपि ते नितवरं लोकाय चानुग्रहम्.
शान्तस्त्वं करमस्य मूर्ध्नि समधाः स्तोत्रैरतोद्गायतः तस्या कामधियोऽपि ते नितवरं लोकाय चानुग्रहम्. शान्तस्त्वं करमस्य मूर्ध्नि समदः स्तोत्रैरतोद्गायतः तस्या कामधियोऽपि ते नितवरं लोकाय चानुग्रहम्.
The third line, samadhaha, there is a akaram that is coming there. Okay, samadhaha, third line.
Samadhaha.
Yeah.
शान्तस्त्वं करमस्य मूर्ध्नि समधाः स्तोत्रैरधोद्गायतः तस्या कामधियोऽपि ते निधवरं लोकाय चानुग्रहम्.
Krishnaji, the fourth line after varam, there is a comma. Okay. Varam.
Okay. शान्तस्त्वं करमस्य मूर्ध्नि समद्धाः स्तोत्रैरधोद्गायतः तस्या कामधियोऽपि ते निधवरं लोकाय चानुग्रहम्.
एवं नाटितरौद्रचेष्टित विभो श्रीतापनीयाभिदश्रुत्यन्तस्फुटगीत सर्वमहिमन् अत्यन्तशुद्धाकृते तत्ताधृङ्निखिलोत्तरं पुनरहो कस्त्वां परो लङ्घयेत् प्रह्लादप्रिय हे मरुत्पुरपते सर्वामयात् पाहि माम्. He says, how can one who's such pure sattva guna, the Brahman, how can that Brahman have any tamo guna in it of anger? It cannot, right? So it means, oh, Narasimha, all you did was you put up a show. You put up a drama. In reality, you are not filled with anger. In reality, you are not filled with ferociousness, right? You had to do that to get rid of Hiranyakashipu, and you want to show that to the world that, for the people who are asuras, they have to be afraid of something. That is the thing. But for true bhaktas, there's absolutely there should not be an iota of fear about God, right? There should never be the word of fear of God, because God is never meant to hurt you. It's only supposed to bless, right? So in this case, for true bhaktas, there should be no fear. So you just put up that show, So that's what it is. And he says there's another place called, another thing called Narasimha Tapaniya Upanishad. That means Sita Paniya Bida. There's Tapaniya Upanishad, which talks about the greatness of Narasimha. Even in that, they have said Narasimha is not an angry personality. He just puts up that show, right? But he's actually very calm God for the devotees. So this comes to an end. So Prahlada Priya, He Marut Purapate, O Guru Arappa, who's the favorite of Prahlada, to you my salutations, and please eradicate all my ailments. Evam Natita Raudra Cheshtita Vibho, Shritapaniya, one word, put a plus, Shrutyanta Sputa Gita Sarva Mahiman. We'll have a double n there, Sanskrit. Put a in first, Mahiman, Next word will start with the R. Atyanta Shuddha Krite. Evam Natita Raudra Cheshtita Vibho Shritapaniya Shrutyanta Sputa Gita Sarva Mahiman Atyanta Shuddha Krite.
एवं नाटित रौद्र चेष्टित विभो श्रीतापनीयापित श्रुत्यन्त स्फुटकीत सर्वमहिमन् अत्यन्त शुद्धाकृते एवं नाटित रौद्र चेष्टित विभो श्रीतापनीयापित श्रुत्यन्त स्फुटाकीत सर्वमहिमन् अत्यन्त शुद्धाकृते
एवं नाडिदरौद्रचेष्टिद विभो श्रीतापनीयाभिधः श्रुत्यन्दः सर्वमहिमन् अत्यन्तशुद्धाकृते एवं नाडिदरौद्रचेष्टिद विभो श्रीतापनीयाभिधः श्रुत्यन्दः सर्वमहिमन् Atyanta-shuddha-krute.
Krishnaji, that word becomes atyanta. That second na will go away there.
Okay.
Okay. Atyanta-shuddha-krute. Tattadhrin nikhilottaram punaraho, kastvam paro langhayet, prahlada priya, he marutpurapate, again for emphasis, sarvamayat pahima. That last line you can just put in bracket 3 and keep, because when we do a chanting, we chant that last line 3 times. You don't have to do it right now, but for regular chanting. Tattadhrin nikhilottaram punaraho kastvam paro langhayete prahlada priya he marutpurapate sarvamayat pahimam.
Tattadhrin nikhilottaram punaraho kastvam paro langhayet prahlada priya he marutpurapate sarvamayat pahimam. Tattadhrin nikhilottaram punaraho kastvam paro langhayet prahlada priya he prahlada priya he marutpurapate sarvamayat pahimam.
Tattadhrin nikhilottaram punaraho kastvam parom langhayet प्रह्लादप्रिय हे मरुत्पुरपते सर्वामयात् पाहि माम्.
Krishnaji, the third line after Punaraho, there is a comma, third line. And fourth line after Prahlada Priya and Marudpur, there are 2 commas there, okay?
तत्तादृन्निखिलोत्तरम् पुनरहो कस्त्वां परो लङ्घयेत् प्रह्लादप्रिय हे मरुत्पुरपते सर्वामयत् पाहि माम्.
Krishna.
ராஜேஷ் ஜி அந்த பரோ லங்கை ஏத்னா என்ன லங்காக்கும் இதுக்கும் சம்பந்தம் இல்லல்ல?
இல்ல Lankai means who can overcome you. Like a Lanka. So yeah, no connection to that. Yeah. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. So this Narasimha Avataram, beautiful charitram, it comes to an end. That's why we do a Panagam Nevidam. If you ever go to any Narasimha temple in Kerala, there's a place called Chenganur, which has got a Narasimha temple as well. They'll always have Narasimha covered with Chandanam there. And then, Panagam is a Nevidam. I think this time Vijay got Panagam for our Parayanam last 2 weekends back.
Chandana Chartha is for cooling down.
Cooling down Narasimha, yeah.
அல்ல அது வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வரத சந்தன சார்த்து போட்டோம்னா எஸ்பெஷலி பீப்புள் ஹூ ஹேவ் இஷ்யூஸ் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த ஹீட் அந்த அதுக்கு நேர்ச்ச மாதிரி பண்ணுவா.
Okay, அங்க செங்கனூர்லயா? I've been there once, I remember seeing it a long time back.
ஏரியால 2-3 இதெல்லாம் இருக்கு இந்த மாதிரி என்ன மெயின்லி எயில்மெண்ட்ஸுக்காகவே 2-3 கோவில்கள் இருக்கு. ஸோ இந்த சந்தன சார்த்து ஃபார் நரசிம்ஹா இஸ் பேசிக்கலி டு கூல் ஹிம் டவுன். இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு பிரச்சனைலாம் பார்த்துட்டு பண்ணுவா இல்லையா?
ஆமா. Okay, we'll go to Dasakam 26, another beautiful Dasakam. So we saw Dhruva Charitram in 17, where Dhruva called, Bhagavan came. We saw in 22 Ajamilo Pakyanam, Ajamila called Narayana, Narayana came. We saw in 24-25 Prahlada called, Narayana came. All little bit of humans, right? But then, but Bhagavan is for everybody. It's the same Bhagavan for you as it's for a dog, as it's for any animal in this world, right? Or any creature in this world, right? So this example is when in Bhagavatam and Parikshit Shukabrahma are having, Shukabrahma says it's same Bhagavan for everybody. Whoever wants can invoke. So the question comes is, how can an animal call out Narayana, right? Like any animal, animal doesn't have to use the word Narayana. It knows there's a supreme God. Some of them are born with that, and we'll see how. And they can call with any name you want, right? And that God is going to appear. That's for them. So even they are also blessed. So this is one such example. A lot of you who know about Guruvayur Keshavan, if you don't know about Guruvayur Keshavan, go listen to Guruvayur Keshavan's story by Vishaka Hari on YouTube. This, Krishna Premi Anna's his daughter-in-law, Vishaka Hari. You go search Vishaka Hari and say it's Guruvayur Keshavan. Beautifully, she would have narrated about Guruvayur Keshavan. That's an elephant which was there in Guruvayur. Anyway,
you have a film also, Rajesh.
Huh?
You have a film also on Guruvayur Keshavan.
Yeah. So very beautiful story there. But this is not related to that. But I'm kind of there. Minu is showing Guruvayur Keshavan's picture in her house. So this is not about Guruvayur Keshavan, because Guruvayur Keshavan happened in the 20th century. We are going to see about a similar one which happened during the period of the 4th Manu. Remember, one Manu has 71 Chaturyugams. We are in the 7th Manu. This is a story that happened during the 4th Manu, which means really long time back. Okay, it's called Gajendra Moksham. Gajendra just means king of elephants. But sometimes that name becomes that person, right? So in this case, that person is going to be called Gajendra, but really means kings of elephant. I'm going to little bit rush through the stanzas because I want to finish this today, but I don't want to cut on the story. So stanza 1. Indradyumnah Pandya Khandadi Rajah Twadbhaktatma Chandanadrau Kadachite Twatsevayam Magnadhira Luloke Naivagastyam Praptamatitya Kamam. Long time back, in the Pandya land. No, doesn't mean Pandyas were there then. By Pandya land, he means in the south of India, right? There was a king called Indradyumna. Indradyumna was a very big devotee of the Lord. And he was a very famous king, rich king, and all of that stuff. So over a period of time, when he reaches a certain age, like they all do, he renounces everything, and then he goes to the Podigai mountain in Tamil Nadu, that area, and there he's given up everything. He has his ashramam there, and he's sitting and he has a vow of silence, and he's just meditating on the Lord. So at that time, Agastya Muni comes there to meet him. So when all these great sages come, they expect some level of service. They expect you to welcome them. They expect you to then take care of them because they are wandering sages, right? But because Indradyumna was so much in the state of silence, he doesn't even know that Agastya had come. And he even if he knew, he refused to get up or welcome or say anything. He's just focused on his meditation at that point. So Indradyumnah, put a F, Indradyumnah, Pandya Khandadi Rajah, put a Visarga comma. Next line, the is goes away. Tvat Bhaktatma Chandanadrau Kadachit Tvat Sevayam Magna Dhiralu Loke, comma, Naivagastyam Praptam Atitya Kamam, if you want to break that word. So this goes to different, this goes to the two-liner kind of tunes. You can just say one time, Amutaji, sorry. Indradyumnah Pandya Khandadhirajah Tvad-bhaktatma Chandanadrau Kadachite Tvad-sevayam Magnadhira Luloke Naiva Gastyam Praptamatitya Kamam.
Indradyumna Pandya Khandadhirajah Tvat-bhaktatma Chandanadrau Kadachit Tvat-sevayam Magnadhiraluloke Naivaga Satyam Praptam Aditya Kamam.
Fourth line, first word. Naivagastyam.
Naivagastyam.
It's na eva agasthyam. Three different words.
Naivega.
But it's naivagastyam. That word, you have to say it as one word. And the agastya, and that's where the is and tya I'm kind of emphasizing there. Naivagastyam.
Naivagastyam.
Yeah.
Indradyumnah Pandya Khandadhirajah Tvat-bhaktatma Chandanadrau Kadachit Tvat-sevayam Magnadhiraluloke Naivagastyam Praptam Aditya Kamam.
Stanza 2. Kumbhodbhude sambhrita krodha bharah stabdhatma tvam hasti bhuyam bhajeti shaptvatainam pratyagatsopi lebhe hastindratvam tvatsmrite vyakti dhanyam. So Kumbhodbhudi means the one who has come from a kumbha, one who's born out of a pot, which is referring to Agastya, because Agastya was born out of a pot, very similar to the Kauravas, right? They were also born from a pot. So here, this Agastya is, of course, we all know he's a very angry person. He gets angry very quickly. So especially when a king like this, or who used to be a king, Indradyumna, he doesn't even look at Agastya. He doesn't welcome him. So he feels like you've insulted a great Brahmana, a great sage. So he says, you are like a big king in body and everything, but you're behaving dumb. You're behaving as if you don't care about anything else in this world. So you're very, like stabda, you're very firm, and you're so, you don't seem to ignore everything. He says, so hasti bhuyam bhajeti. He says, he gives him a curse, saying that you're going to be born like an elephant, because an elephant is big in size, and the elephant just stands, it is just standing for hours. It will just stand, eating whatever it's given, putting mud on itself, doesn't care about anything else that is actually happening in this world, right? He says, you behave like an elephant. And so you're going to become an elephant in your next birth, right? So we all wonder how various people are born this thing. Unless somebody is great persons like this is coming and telling what is happening, you don't know what you were in your previous birth. Maybe we were a low level creature, maybe we were a higher level demigod who got cursed down to become who we are today, right? So in this case, this Indradyumna is cursed, saying you'll become an elephant, right? And then he goes away. However, so the next birth of Indradyumna, he is born as an elephant. Now, even though he is born as an elephant, the only benefit is the good deeds you do never go away. It always carries on with you. So even though he was born as an elephant, Tvat Smriti, the memory of worshipping you, which he was worshipping you, Narayana, for so many years, doesn't go away. It is still ingrained in him when he's born as an elephant as well. He may not remember it, but it is still there in his subconscious memory. That's what is actually happening. He has it in his subconscious memory, but the elephant will not remember it, right? And so, very similar to, I was telling you the story about Jada Bharata. I didn't tell you the story, but I referred to him, Jada Bharata, in Dasakam 20 when we did Rishabha Yogeshwara. Similarly, they have multiple births. When that carries over, the subtle memory of certain things like you're worshipping God will always remain. Sometimes that spark has to come to trigger that out, right? Which is what is going to happen here also. So, Kumbhot Bhutihi Puta is Sambhrita Krodha Bharaha, comma, Stabdhatma Tvam Hasti Bhuyam Bhajeti, short e, Shaptva Tainam Pratyagat Sopi Lebhe, comma, Hastindratvam Tvat Smriti Vyakti Dhanyam. कुंभोद्भूते संभृतक्रोधभारः स्तब्धात्मा त्वं हस्तिभूयं भजेति शप्त्वा तैनं प्रत्यगात्सोऽपि लेभे हस्तीन्द्रत्वं त्वत्स्मृतिव्यक्तिधन्यम्.
कुम्भोद्भूति संप्रत क्रोध भारः स्तब्धात्मा त्वं हस्तिभूयं भजेति शप्त्वा तैनं प्रत्यगात् सोऽपि लेपे हस्तीन्द्रत्वं त्वत्स्मृतिव्यक्तिधन्यम्.
कुम्भोद्भूतिसंहृतक्रोधभारः सप्तात्मा त्वं हस्तिभूयं भजेति शप्त्वा धैन्यं प्रत्यगास्तोऽपि लेभे हस्तीन्द्रत्वं त्वत्स्मृतिव्यक्तिधन्यम्.
Okay, we'll switch halfway. Lakshmi ji, you can be a student, and Nalini, you can be a student.
ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இதுல ரெண்டாவது லைன்ல வந்து அந்த பாரஹன்னு வரதுனால இஸ் போயிடும் இல்லையா? தப்தாத்மா கரெக்டா?
Tabdatma still remains. My book does not have an additional is. It already has a visarga. But if you don't have a visarga and you have an extra is, then remove it off.
Oh, but there is an is there.
Tabdatma, other is there.
Okay.
Yeah. Stanza 3. Dugdham bhoder madhya bhajit trikute kridan chaile yuta poyam vashabhihi sarvan jantunatyavartishta shaktya twadbhaktanam kutra notkarsha labah. So in this Trikuta mountains, which there is also a Trikuta mountain, they say in the earth, but this could be somewhere outside of earth also. We don't know where it is, right? So in some place called Trikuta mountains, which is massive mountain range, an elephant is born. So this is Indradyumna taking birth as an elephant, right? And then he's born, and the elephant, of course, elephant is born amidst elephants, right? And elephants are in a forest, in a mountainous region. That's where he is also there. And even from the childhood, like he becomes one of the strongest of elephants. So like even this Keshavan was like a massive sized elephant. So even similarly, Gajendra is called Gajendra for that reason. Indra means king, Gaja means elephant. So he was the king of elephants because he was a massive sized elephant, very powerful elephant. And Bhadrapada adds, Tvad Bhaktanam Kutra Notkarsha Labaha. One who's a true devotee of yours, where will he not excel? He or she, where will they not excel? Similarly, Gajendra was a very powerful elephant, and he was there amongst the elephants at that time. Dugdam bhoder madhya bhaji trikute, kridan chaile yutapoyam vashabihi. He was a little young elephant. He was married. So he was, of course, busy playing. Kridan chaile means just hanging out with everybody, right? That's what he was spending his time at the time. Sarvan jantun atyavartishta. It will be easy to break it there at the in. Sarvan jantun atyavartishta shaktya, Tvat bhaktanam kutra notkarsha labaha.
Sorry, ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இந்த இடத்துல second line, like Duktam Bodhe Bodhu Madhyabaji Trikude Kaprama Kridan Shaileva Chaileva.
See, it is Sha and HA, but because the U coming, it becomes a
Kridan Shaile. Okay, and you the boyam Vasha Bihi Kuduturku. Vasha Bihi irka? Vasha Bihi.
Yeah, Visargal. Dugdam bhoder madhyabhajit trikute क्रीडन् शैले यूतपोयं वशाभिः सर्वान् जन्तूनत्यवर्तिष्ठशक्त्या त्वद्भक्तानां कुत्र नोत्कर्षलाभः.
दुग्धां बोधेर्मध्यभाजित्रिकूटे क्रीडन् शैले तूतपोयं वशाभिः सर्वान् जन्तून् अत्यवर्तिष्ठशक्त्या त्वद्भक्तानां कुत्र नोत्कर्षलाभः.
Can do two times. The second line, Yutha poem.
Okay. Dugdam bodher madhyabhajitrikute kridan chaile yutha poyam vashabhihi sarvan jantun atyavartishta satya twadbhaktanam kutra notkarshalabha.
दुग्धाम्बोधेर्मध्यभाजित्रिकूटे क्रीडन् शैले यूथपोयं वशाभिः सर्वान् जन्तून् यत्यवतिष्ठशक्त्या त्वद्भक्तानां कुत्र नोत्कर्षलाभः. दुग्धाम्बोधेर्मध्यभाजित्रिकूटे क्रीडन् शैले यूथपोयं वशाभिः सर्वान् जन्तून् अत्यवर्तिष्ठशक्त्या त्वद्भक्तानां कुत्र नोत्कर्षलाभः.
ஒரே டவுட், இந்த துக்தாம் போதே அதுக்கப்புறம் விசர்க்கம் போட்டிருக்கு. நார்மலா விசர்க்கம் இருந்தா இஸ் சவுண்ட்
Replace it with the ir r. Dugdam bodher.
பட் விசர்க்கம் இருந்தா இஸ் தான் சொல்லுவா.
இல்ல, it depends on what letter is coming after. Like car it becomes a ich, par that becomes a if, right? So adu mari mala that becomes a ir there.
But they தாக்கும் இருதா வருமா?
No, bodher madhya ma is coming later, right?
Okay, and the pinadi vara slok and
the one letter which is coming after the visarga, it takes accordingly it takes the joining letter.
Thank you.
Stanza 4. स्वेन स्थीम्ना दिव्यदेशत्वशक्त्या सोऽयं खेदान प्रजानन् कदाचित् शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः सरस्यां यूतैः सार्धं त्वत्प्रणुन्नोभिरेमे. Very powerful elephant, right? Generally, very powerful elephant. It is strong. It doesn't fall sick. All that stuff, right? And it also says not only was it strong, but we also say certain regions have certain things. Like some places, people don't fall sick. So Japan, people live for 100 years. They say it's that kshetram's speciality, right? Similarly, he says there's a divya desham. Because he was living in a divya desham, that also gives strength. So because of all of this, Gajendra was just a very, very powerful elephant, right? And nobody was able to even approach him nearby. He was very strong. But one of the years, because of extreme heat, the heat was becoming unbearable one of the years. So one day these elephants, they are not able to bear the heat. So they all decide to kind of go into a lake in the mountain to cool themselves off, right? So here Bhaktipad says it's always all of this doesn't happen because it's all because you want it to happen. So tvat pranunno abhireme, you wished for it to happen. That Gajendra was beginning to fall sick with the heat. So he wants to cool himself down. So he's going to go to a particular lake that particular day. So Svena Sthemna Divya Deshatva Shaktya, Soyam Khedan Aprajanan. If you want to break at that na, Khedan Aprajanan Kadachit Shaila Prante Gharma Tantaha, put a is to join, Gharma Tantas Sarasyam, Yutai Sardham Tvat Pranunnobhireme. स्वेन स्थेम्ना दिव्यदेशत्वशक्त्या सोऽयं खेदान प्रजानन् कदाचित् शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः सरस्यां यूतैः सार्धं त्वत्प्रणुन्नोभिरेमे.
स्वेन स्थेम्ना दिव्यदेशवशत्या सोऽयं खेदान् अप्रजानन् कदाचित् शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः सरस्यां यूतैः सार्धं त्वत्प्रणुन्नोभिरेमे. स्वेन स्थेम्ना दिव्यदेशत्वशक्त्या सोऽयं खेदान् अप्रजानन् कदाचित् शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः सरस्यां यूतैः सार्धं त्वत्प्रणुन्नोभिरेमे.
यूतैः सार्धं.
Okay.
स्वेन स्थेम्ना दिव्यदेशत्वशक्त्या सोऽयं खेदान् अप्रजानन् कदाचित् शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः सरस्यां यूथैः साध्वं त्वत्प्रणुन्नोभिरेमे. स्वेन स्थेम्ना दिव्यदेशत्वशक्त्या सोऽयं खेदान् अप्रजानन् कदाचित् शैलप्रान्ते घर्मतान्तः सरस्यां यूथैः साध्वं त्वत्प्रणुन्नोभिरेमे.
That's right. हुहुस्तावद्देवलस्यापि शापात् ग्राहीभूतस्तज्जले वर्तमानः जग्राहैनं हस्तिनं पाददेशे शान्त्यर्थं हि श्रान्तिदोषे स्वकानाम्. So we'll pause here. We'll go to another story which happened. So it was a Gandharva. Gandharva are like demigods. They're not like the demigods who live in the Swargalokam, but they're like one level below the demigods, right? So they also have a lot of power. Like we saw this Chitraketu who became a Gandharva. He was Vidyadhara Gandharva. He became powerful, right? Similarly, there's a Gandharva called Huhu, H-U-H-U. So this Gandharva Huhu, once he was in the water, he was in the water of a river or something with other women. So at that time, they were all playing in the water, right? So at that time, what happens is he goes under the water and he thinks it's somebody else and he pulls their leg. It happens to be a rishi called Devala Rishi who was meditating under the water. So he ends up going and pulling that rishi's leg under the water. So of course, the rishi then becomes very upset about it, saying, how can you, being a Gandharva, do such lowly things? And that too, you don't even recognize that I'm a rishi here praying and you're coming and disturbing me. So he curses him to become a crocodile, because you seem to be having fun playing underwater and dragging people down. So he says, next birth, you're going to get demoted and you're going to become a crocodile. So that crocodile now is not who is now born as a crocodile. And he also happens to be in the same lake or river wherever this Gajendra is now going out because he's tired. So they all go to drink water, and Gajendra has multiple wives, friends. They all go, they play in that water, they drink water, they're cooling down in that water. At that time, this crocodile comes and grabs Gajendra's leg, right? This who comes and grabs Indradyumna as an elephant. He's like, see, Bhattacharya says, why? He says, sometimes things happen to you because, they say inflection point in your life, right? Certain things have to happen to kind of repivot you in a different direction, right? This Indradyumna, who was so religious, he had all of that. This life as an elephant, he has been just chilling. He has just been relaxing. So the God has to sometimes give that little bit inflection point, impetus to say, remember me, don't forget me. All that you remembered about me in your last birth, you seem to have forgotten, right? So you kind of gives him that impetus, because of which the who now comes and grabs his leg. So who's Tavad Devalasyapi, because the Rishi's name is Devala. So Devalasyapi Shapat, Grahi Bhutas Tajjale Vartamanaha Jagrahainam Hastinam Pada Deshe, Shantyartam hi shranti dosi swakanam. Puhustavad devalasyapi shapate grahi bhutastajjale vartamanah jagrahainam hastinam padadeshe shantyartam hi shranti dosi swakanam.
हुहुस्तावत् देवलस्यापि शापत् ग्राहीभूतश्चले वर्तमानः जग्राहैनं हस्तिनं पाददेशे शान्त्यर्थं हि श्रान्तिदोषि स्वकानाम् हुहुस्तावत् देवलस्यापि शापत् शापात् ग्राहीभूतश्चले वर्तमानः जग्राहैनं हस्तिनं पाददेशे शान्त्यर्थं हि श्रान्तिदोषि स्वकानाम्.
The second line, the taj jale.
Grahibhutasjale.
No, taj jale. There is a word taj, taj jale.
Okay. Grahibhutas bhuta.
No, bhutas.
Tajjale.
Yeah, bhutas tajjale.
Bhutas tajjale. Okay.
Yeah.
हुहुस्तावद्देवलस्यापि शापात् ग्राहीभूतस्तज्जले वर्तमानः जग्राहैनं हस्तिनं पाददेशे शान्त्यर्थं हि श्रान्तिदोषि स्वकानाम् हुहुस्तावद्देवलस्यापि शापात् ग्राहीभूतस्तज्जले वर्तमानः जग्राहैनं हस्तिनं पाददेशे शान्त्यर्थं हि श्रान्तिदोषि स्वकानाम्.
Stanza 6. Tvatsevaya vaibhava durnirodham yudhyantam tam vatsaranam sahasram prapte kale tvatpadenkagrasiddhye nakrakrantyam hastivaryam vyadhastvam. Because Gajendra is a strong elephant. So he then decides to fight the crocodile, right? Saying, how can a crocodile come and grab my leg? I have all this strength, right? So, and then, but the crocodile is also a very strong animal, right? Because the crocodile is very strong underwater and is grabbing Gajendra's feet underwater. And the elephant, being generally a land animal, becomes weaker underwater, right? So it's a double advantage for the crocodile. So crocodile grabs his leg and he's trying to fight. And then he doesn't want anybody's help because he feels like I can fight it out on my own. So he tries for a really long time. He's not able to. Then he decides to call for help. Right? And then all his other wives, all the other elephants there, they all try to pull Gajendra out. They're not able to pull him out. So this battle goes on. At one point, these wives and other family members end up leaving because they're like, there's no way we are going to be able to help you. Right? And then what can we do sitting there because you are gone, right? At this point, there's no way we can win, help you out of the crocodile. The crocodile is not winning either. Gajendra is not winning either. It's just grabbing one. Both of them are stuck in that position for a really long time. So at that point, Gajendra thinks, saying that I thought I was strong. I'm not able to win against this crocodile. All these family members who I had are also not able to help me in times of danger. My friends are not able to help me in danger, right? So he says, how can this happen? And at that point, only after a long time, it says Vatsaranam Sahasram. It says 1,000 years, but you don't have to literally take it that way. It goes on for a really long time. So after all these years, Gajendra is thinking, why is this happening to me, right? And at one point, it comes where he's not able to hold it. Right? Because like I said, it's underwater, so the crocodile is more stronger, elephant gets weaker, so his strength is diminishing over time. And at one point, he's about to give up his life because he's not able to fight the crocodile and there's nobody available to help. So he says, this is my end, I'm going to die right now. So, Tvat Sevaya Vaibhavat Durnirodham, Yudhyantam Tam Vatsaranam Sahasram Prapte Kale Tvat Padaikagriya Siddhyai. I'll tell this in the next stanza, the meaning of that line. But Tvat Padaikagriya Siddhyai, Nakra Krantam Hastivaryam Vyadhastvam. Tvatsevaya Vaibhava Durnirodham Yudyantam Tam Vatsaranam Sahasram Prapte Kale Tvatpadaika Griyasidhyai Nakra Krantam Hastivaryam Vyadhastvam.
त्वत्सेवाया वैभवात् दुर्निरोधं युध्यन्तं तं वत्सराणां सहस्रं प्राप्ते काले त्वत्पदैकाग्र्यसिद्ध्यै नक्राकान्तं हस्तिवर्यं व्यधास्त्वम्.
Fourth line, first word, Nakrakrantam.
नक्राक्रान्तं हस्तिवर्यं व्यधास्त्वम्. त्वत्सेवाया वैभवात् दुर्निरोधं युध्यन्तं तं वत्सराणां सहस्रं प्राप्ते काले त्वत्पदैकाग्र्यसिद्ध्यै नक्राक्रान्तं हस्तिवर्यं व्यधास्त्वम्.
त्वत्सेवाया वैभवात् दुर्निरोधं युध्यन्तं तं वत्सराणां सहस्रं प्राप्ते काले त्वत्पदैकाग्र्यसिद्ध्यै नक्राक्रान्तं हस्तिवर्यं व्यधास्त्वम्. त्वत्सेवाया वैभवात् दुर्निरोधं युध्यन्तं तं वत्सराणां सहस्रं प्राप्ते काले त्वत्पदैकाग्र्यसिद्ध्यै नक्राकान्तं हस्तिवर्यं व्यधास्त्वम्. Did I get it right?
ராஜேஷி அது காக்ரியன்னு சொல்லணுமா? காக்ரிய.
Yeah, like Grya, Grya. Grya. Stanza 7. Artivyakta praktana jnana bhaktihin shundotkshyaptaih pundarikais samarchan purvabhyastam nirvisheshatmanishtam stotram sreshtham sonvagadi paratman. So, we all go through this, right? Anytime there is a challenge in our life, we first feel that we are capable of fighting it, which is true. You have to do your duty. You can't be in either extreme, right? You can't be in one extreme where you say, it's just me. I'm just going to try to fight it out. I don't need any help. And that's one extreme. The other extreme is to say, I am not going to do anything and let God decide whatever. Both are wrong, right? Because for a lot of you who are Bhagavad Gita experts, what Krishna said is, you have to do your duty. But know that it is not just you alone who is going to determine the outcome of what's going to happen. So don't think that you control the outcome, right? But you also have to realize that there's a God who is going to help me out. So here, he kept fighting until a point where he figured, I cannot. And when he got to the point where he could not, at that point, Tvat Padai Ekagre Chittam. So he got a one mind, when he felt there was no other option. At that time, Gajendra decides, I'm helpless, right? And then he remembers God, because he figures, I am not able to do it, right? And when he remembers, it says, because of the Jnana Arti Vyakta Praktana Jnana Bhakti, because of the devotion and knowledge which that Indratyumna had in his previous birth, because he was going to get liberated. He was at that point, but then he unfortunately got demoted. That knowledge suddenly kicks into this elephant, because it is still there in his subconscious, but he's just not brought it out. Now at this point triggers that in that elephant Gajendra, and he does a beautiful stuti. Now you can't say, how does an elephant say in Sanskrit? He doesn't say in Sanskrit, he thinks of it in whatever language the elephant thinks of, right? And we have this great Vyasa who has translated it for us in Sanskrit. I'm going to just stand one stanza from Bhagavatam, which is Gajendra Stuti. He does a long stuti, but there's one stanza. It says, Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yada Eta Chidatmakam Purushayadi Bhijaya Pareshaya Bidhimahi. He says, I'm meditating on that one supreme Purusha who doesn't have anybody else, who's the root, who's the bijam for everything, who doesn't have a second, who's the source of everything, who's the cause of everything. So he's not going and calling, oh Shiva help me, or Narayana help me. He's saying, I'm praying to the Supreme Purusha, who's the one, who's the ultimate source and ultimate everything, right? And then with that, what he does is he gives up, which is very important, right? Like if you see the Draupadi thing also, for those of you who heard in Dushyant Sridhar, anybody talk about it, till the point Draupadi is holding on, she holds on to that last piece of sari with her teeth, right? That is the only thing protecting her, is her holding that sari with her teeth. Nothing happens. The moment she lets that also go and completely surrenders and calls out to Govinda, help comes, right? So at this point, same thing is happening to Gajendra. He's fighting. Finally, he decides it's impossible. So Shundo Kshipta means with his trunk, he pulls a lotus flower which is there in that place, and then he offers it to the Supreme Brahman Purusha and says, I am surrendering. I'm going to let my feet go. I'm not even going to attempt to hold myself. You please come and help me. And then he offers that flower. So Arti Vyakta Praktana Jnana Bhaktihi, comma, Shundot Kshiptaihi, put a F, Kshiptaif, Pundarikaihi, put a Is, Pundarikais, Samarchan, Purvabhyastam, Nirvisheshatma Nishtam, comma, Stotram. Some of you may have Stotra, change it to Stotram if you have it. Stotram Sreshtham Sonvagadi Paratman. Artavyakta Praktana Jnana Bhaktihi Shundot Kshiptaif Pundarikais Samarchan Purvabhyastam Nirvisheshatmanishtam Stotram Sreshtham Sonvagadi Paratman. Actually, just one time.
Arti Vyakta Praktana Jnana Bhaktihi Shundet Kshiptaihi Pundarikai Samarchan Purvabhyastam Nirvisheshatmanishtam Stotram Sreshtam Sonvagadit Paratman.
Second line, first word, Shundot Kshiptaif.
Kshiptaish. Oh, okay.
The Shundo sound, I think is it Shunde or something there in the word, yeah?
Okay.
Artivyakta Praktana Jnana Bhaktihi Shundo Kshiptaif Pundarikais Samarchan Purvabhyastam Nirvisheshatmanistam Stotram Srestam Sonvagadi Paratman.
Answer 8. Shrutva stotram nirgunastam samastam brahme shadye nahamitya prahyate sarvatma tum bhuri karunya vegate taksha ruda prechito bhuv purastate. Like we said, he doesn't call out, Gajendra doesn't call out a particular god or a goddess by name, right? He calls out the Nirguna Brahman. In fact, his last stanza of the Stuti is, O Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. He doesn't call out the one, he says at the end, but he's initially calling out to the Supreme Purusha. So at the time, Brahma, Shadhya, which is Shiva, Brahma, Indra, all of them are saying, he's not calling us. If he's calling us, we will go for help. He's not calling out to me, he's calling to this Nirguna Brahman. So whoever is the Nirguna Brahman has to come to help. So at that time, you, O Narayana, you then take a birth as Hari in that particular Manu's at the Manu's period. One incarnation happens of as Lord as Hari. So you then come Tarksha Ruda. You just come mounted on a Garuda, and then you decide to come and help him out. At the time, Gajendra sees this Lord and says, O Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. So you can praise to that Lord Narayana, because he's now seeing that Lord Narayana has come. Just when Gajendra gives up, instantly at that point, Bhagavan has come to help him out. Shrutva stotram nirgunastam samastam, comma, brahme shadhyair, ear sound, naham itya prayate, sarvatmatvam bhuri karunya vegat, comma, tarksharudaha, put a F, prekshito bhuhu, another F, purastat. Shrutva stotram nirgunastam samastam brahme shadhyer nahamitya prahyate Sarvatma tvam bhuri karunya vegat tarkshyarudha prekshito bhuv purastat.
Shrutva stotram nirgunastam samastam brahmeshatyair nahi mitya prayate sarvatma tvam bhuri karunya vegat taksharudah prekshito bhuv purastat.
Lakshmi, the second line, Naham itya.
Brahmeshatyair nahamitya, right?
Na aham itya. Naham itya prayate.
Nahamitya, okay.
Shrutva stotram nirgunastham samastam brahmeshadye nahamitya prayate sarvatma tvam bhuri karunya vegat takshyarudha prekshito bhuv purastat.
Stanza 9. Hastindram tam hastabadmena dhritva chakrena tvam nakravaryam vyadharihi gandharvesmin mukta shape sahasti tvatsarupyam prapyate dipyate sma. Of course, the moment the Lord comes on Garuda and Gajendra sees, he now knows he's taken care of. So then Bhagavan then gives his own hand to Gajendra, and then he pulls him out of that, of the crocodile. And then with his chakram, you then get rid of that crocodile, because that crocodile has to die for that Gandharva to be released, right? So the crocodile is then gotten rid of, and then that crocodile gets that previous form of Gandharva. And then he goes back, so he then does prostrations, he goes back to the Gandharva land. So he is also released from the curse that the Devala Rishi gave him. And then this Gajendra, Tvatsarupyam, he gets liberated, because he was supposed to be liberated in his previous birth, but unfortunately he fell back. But finally he remembered the Bhagavan, and again, very similar to Ajamila, when the time is right, he remembered who to call. Right? And because he called, and then the Bhagavan came and touched him and helped him out, he then got your form, which means he went to Vaikundam and got liberated with you. So with that, the Gajendra is also liberated. Hastindram tam hasta padmena dhritva, chakrena tvam nakravaryam vyadarihi gandharvesmin mukta shape sahasti, Tvatsarupyam prapya dedipyate sma. Hastindram tam hastapadmena dhritva chakrena tvam nakravaryam vyadharihi gandharvesmin mukta shape sahasti tvatsarupyam prapya dedipyate sma.
Hastindram tam hastapadmena dhrutva chakrena tvam nakravaryam vyadarim gandharvesmin mukta shape sahasti tvatsarupyam prapya dedipyate sma.
The second line, vyadharihi, there is a visarga there.
Vyadarihi, okay.
Hastindram tam hastapadmena dhrutva chakrena tvam nakravaryam vyadarihi gandharvesmin mukta shape sahasti tvatsarupyam prapya dedipyate sma.
Understand? Etad vrittam tvam cha mam cha pragheyo gahet soyam bhuyase shreyase syat ityuktvainam tena sardham gatastvam dishnyam Vishno pahi vata layesha. So because Gajendra then, he's having said that, he goes with you gatastvam to Dishnyam. Dishnyam means Vaikuntham. So he goes with you to Vaikuntham. And then Vishnu then tells Gajendra, whoever thinks about you and me, or whoever thinks about how Gajendra, he was a great person. He then got, cursed down to be an elephant. He then struggled. Under the time of struggle, he remembered Narayana and Vishnu. Whoever thinks about me and you at mornings in the dawn will also attain Bhuyase Shreyase, will attain the greatest of the good in their lives as well. So you have to think about Gajendra Moksham every morning. At this thing, you don't have to chant it. But at least think about how the Lord came and helped Gajendra. With this, O Krishna, O Guru Arpa, please eradicate my ailments also. Etat vrittam tvam cha mam cha prageyo, gayet soyam bhuyase shreyase syat ityuktvainam tena sardham gatastvam dishnyam. So put a plus and then put a comma after dishnyam, Vishno pahi vatalayesha. Etat vrittam tvam cha mam cha prageyo gahet soyam bhuyase shreyase syat ityuktvainam tena sardham gatastvam dishnyam Vishno pahi vatalayesha.
Etad vrittam tvam cha mam cha prageyo gayet soyam bhuyase shreyase syat ityutvainam tena sardham gatastvam dishnayam Vishno pahi vatalayesha.
The last line, first word, dishnyam. There's no full na, it's just a in. Dishnyam.
Dishnyam. Okay.
You can say it one more time. We have a few minutes.
Etad vrittam tvam cha mam cha prageyo gaye stoyam bhuyase shreyase syat ityuktvainam tena sardham gatastvam dishnyam Vishno pahi vatalayesha.
Rajesh ji, with your permission, can I share Gajendra Moksham YouTube drama that I directed and made the little kids act in ISKCON?
Absolutely. Please do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Etadvrittam tvam cha mam cha prageyo gayet soyam bhuyase shreyase syat yityuktvainam tena sadham gatastvam dishnyam Vishnu pahi vatalayesha.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Sandhanandhavabhuthatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurpurushartatmakam brahmatattvam tattavad bhati sakshat gurupavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam Kahena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.